This here is a Radius 360 air pad. It works very well. It's their latest version. I think there's quite an improvement over what they had before. So that's for doing the large areas. But what I really like, in addition to that, is the small version, the small sander here. This is actually the Mini Flex Air. It's quite small, so you can get a good grip on it and it's easy to use. So I just shot a little video of me using these two different sanders, and I'm pretty sure that in the video I have called them by different names. But just keep in mind, it's the Radius 360 Air Pad, which is a larger sander, and the other one is called the Mini Flex Air. So, hope you enjoy this video. Thank you. I'm Marvin Ferguson, that drywall guy, and today I'm at a small job where I'm going to be doing some sanding because we redid the kitchen soffits here, and this is a perfect situation for using dust control sanders because we don't want the dust to flow into the other parts of the house, but we're going to be getting right into the edge of this crown molding, so we need a sander that's going to cover the larger areas and also allow me to get into those corners. And what I'm going to be using today is some of the FullCircle International tools. I'm going to be using the Radius 360. This is the dust control sander, so I'm going to be hooking it to my vacuum, hooking it with a hose. But it's not a rotating sander. You have to physically move it around to get it to actually sand, but the dust is sucked into this and through the pole and into the hose. And to get into the tight corners, I have another small sander. I have a small sander here that I'm going to be using called the Flex Edge. This is nice because it allows me a lot of control. I'm able to get right into those corners and get a good grip on it and maneuver it around. It rotates very easily. This is really nice because the alternative has always been to use like a sponge sander, which hasn't got any dust control. This is going to allow me to get into the same areas that the sponge sander is, but it's going to be collecting the dust as well. So let's get started. What I have here is the hose that's going to be hooking to the pole here. What I like is hooking two hoses together. It comes with one hose, but I've got some other tools, so I've hooked two hoses together because it gives me more flexibility. I can reach all around this room and not have to move my dust extractor along with it. So I've got that hooked up. Now this end here simply goes into the end of the pole. And like I said, I'm going to manually move this around the ceiling. The dust is going to be collected as I do it. One little feature is I got a lot of really good suction. If it's too much, I can control that by opening this little port right here. So now I've allowed air to be sucked in here, so less suction along the head of the tool. And that would be important because sometimes when you're sanding, too much suction is going to make it difficult to move around the ceiling. So let's see what I've got. In this particular case, I do want quite a bit of suction because I'm not sanding a large area. I think you could see there was really no dust falling down. So that did a great job. Nice. If this was a large area like a whole ceiling, I would reduce the suction just a little bit to make it easier to work. But that worked really well. The problem now is the sanders, any sander, is pretty much too big to do the lower part. So the rest of this is all going to have to be done with a small sander. And that's where the Flex Edge is going to come into play. Okay, Here we go. We're going to give the Mini Flex Air a try. I think you can see how well that worked. I'm very pleased with it. I was able to get right into that corner. I was even able to turn the tool right on its edge and get right along the bottom of this crown. And it's very maneuverable. It's light. I never really actually felt like it was edge was gonna catch and was gonna flip. And okay, this area is all completely sanded. And the only thing I see is a little bit of dust on the top of this blue tape I have along here. So I'm very pleased with that. I think it's a great tool.